Hello geometry students. We're going to be working on rotation in this video, and this is a review of the quadrants. First quadrant, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. The default direction is always going to be counterclockwise. Okay, the clock goes this way, right? Seconds ticking, right? Counterclockwise goes the other way. Counterclockwise is this way. What's very cool about rotation is that we move in quadrants by degrees. So from one quadrant to another is a 90-degree rotation. So if I were to start with a figure right here in quadrant 1, okay, so say I had a figure that started off here, and it rotated 90 degrees. It would go into the next quadrant. Another 90 degrees, it would go into the next quadrant. Another 90 degrees, it would go to this quadrant, and then back 360 degrees. So if this figure were to go 180 degrees, it would go 90, 180, and it would wind up here. If it started here and went 270 degrees, it would go 90, 180, 270. If it were to go clockwise 90 degrees, it would end up this way. Oh, I made my arrow wrong right here. Okay, if it went clockwise, it would go this way. Counterclockwise is this way. If it does not say anything, it's going to be counterclockwise. Otherwise, it'll say clockwise if it's not the default. What's very interesting about this figure, a figure that goes around in a rotation, is the position changes as it goes around, and you can measure it with a circle. So I drew this circle around here to show you how rotation works. So if I were to create a triangle, just any triangle, I'm just drawing this in right here. Okay, and I said this was point A, this is point B, and this is point C. We're going to follow point A all the way around. So if I have point A right here, I start off at 0, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. So A is at 6, 3. All right? If I were to rotate it 90 degrees counterclockwise, then my point A, if I'm looking at my rule sheet, X and Y at 90 degrees switch. My X becomes my Y and my Y becomes my X, and Y takes on the opposite sign. So 6, 3 on this side becomes 3, 6, and the first number becomes the opposite sign. So it was positive, now it's negative. So let's go ahead, 1, 2, 3, and plot it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here's my new A at 90 degrees. All right. I want you to see how very interesting this is. So when I plot my triangle over here, my B is at 1, 2, 3, and up 1. So B is 3, 1. I'm going to move my B over to the other side, 90 degrees counterclockwise. That means that according to the rule sheet, 90 degrees, just like we did the other point, my X becomes my Y and my y becomes my x, and that first number takes on the opposite sign. So 3, 1 then becomes 1, negative 1, 3. So it's negative 1, 1, 2, 3. Okay? Here's my new b, b prime. Then my c is at 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's at 2, 4. Switch the sign, switch the x and my y. So it's, and then the new x becomes the opposite sign. So it becomes negative 4, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and up to c prime. Okay, so here's my new triangle right here. It has rotated around. Each of the points have rotated around the point of origin. What do you see that's interesting about the A here and about the A here, according to my circle that I drew? You will notice that the A is right along that same circle. It's the same distance from here to here as it is in this quadrant from here to here. And if we take this compass and we use it to go around, I'm going to have to move the camera just a minute, a little bit, so I can move it around. Okay, I put this center right here in the crosshairs, and I go right where the B is, right here. If I make it go all the way around, I'm not very coordinated, all the way around, pretend that finished right there. This B meets where the other B does. If we do a circle with the C as well, and my pencil just broke, so I'm going to use my pen. I think it'll work. All right, and I take this and I meet it up where the C meets with this C right here. And this will be true every time we move this triangle around according to what the rule sheet tells us. All right, so if I do my X and my Y, if I'm going to do it at 270 degrees, that means that this one will have rotated 90, 180, 270, right? Where do you think the A is going to wind up? Let's see what the rule sheet says. If my A is 6'3", right here, and it says that I'm going to switch my X and my Y, so my Y becomes my X and my X becomes my Y, and I change the second number sign to the opposite sign. So this becomes 3, negative 6. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right along that line. Isn't that awesome? It's a very interesting thing about rotations, is that wherever I move my figure, it will be all according to what the association is, the distance from the point of origin. And that's rotations.